Mr. Paul.
Well, hello and welcome back, and thank you for coming back. Today, well, we're going to go and have a mosey on down, a wiggle and a waggle in the luxury resort of Aphrodite Hills. It's a golfing resort. It's got apartments where you can buy, you can rent, you can go on holiday. There are villas that, again, you can buy, you can rent, and it's got a 5-star luxury hotel, and on top of all that, shops, restaurants, and an award-winning golf course. Now, we're going to charge the ship. We're watching Receiver Booth, who just happens to be the most beautiful woman in the world.
It just happens. Hello, everybody. How nice to see you again and again. The place is not enough to spill my emotions close to your lovely hearts because I've got long arms.
And the car's not big enough. We need to upgrade to an S-Class because the only car better than an E-Class is
an S-Class and big class.
Big glass. There we are. So, if you want to help the channel grow, click through to our About page where you can buy an S-Class. You've only got to buy it once, that's for sure. Receive the booth. Let's go for a wiggle and a waggle up through Aphrodite Hills. So there it is. That's the main entrance there. And we're going to wiggle and waggle up through there. It's uphill, uphill. When we get to the roundabout at the top, there will be the 5-star luxury hotel on the left. And I think we're going to go around the roundabout to the right. And we're going to wiggle and waggle and take you out to... That's one of my customers.
Really?
That chappy there, that's one of my customers. There we go. There we are. I've got a lot of customers up in here. Lots of them, well, you're going to understand very shortly. You've got to be a millionaire if you're going to buy a place in here. 1-bedroom apartment, 500,000 euros. If you want to buy one of the villas that are starting to appear on this frontal line, well, you're going to need deep pockets indeed. 5 million, 10 million, 15 million, and the one on the very, very, very end over there, the white one with the trees and the wall around it, that's 25 million euros. So we're going to go for a wiggle and a waggle up here. Like I said, at the top of this little road here, we're going to come to a roundabout. At that roundabout, if you wiggle left, you go into the 5-star Aphrodite Hills Hotel. If you were to go straight over the roundabout, and on the left-hand side will be some shops and some restaurants. On the right-hand side will be the clubhouse. But at the roundabout, we're actually going to go right. And then we're going to go up through the complexes where there are apartments and townhouses. Then we're going to drop down and wiggle and waggle and come out the other side, and we're going to come to where all of, shall we say, the wealthy people live, because the starting price at the end of the wiggle and the waggle is 1 million euros plus, and it rapidly goes up to 2, 3, 4, 5 and beyond. And luckily I've got customers who are able to afford those properties, and luckily they've all got cars, because otherwise it's a very, very, very long walk, and luckily they do damage them. Let's go right, Receiver Booth. So on the left hand side there, that is the Aphrodite Hills Hotel. As you can see, if you go straight, that would be the shops, but we're going to go that away.
I didn't see it's a roundabout.
It's a little roundabout, Receiver Booth. Yes, there we are. So now we're starting off. Again, some of these are to rent, some are owned privately, and some are owned by the resort itself. You can book in here for holidays, weekend, a night even, but rapidly the prices along this road will go up. These here are lovely area, this, isn't it? Beautiful area, by the way. Yes. It really, really is nice. And it's all set around an award-winning golf course. Okay, so if you want to play golf, again, this could be a special place for you. Lots of golfing holidays here, and of course a lot of people who buy and own up here do like a game of golf, or perhaps they've just got lots and lots of money. Pacific, what do you think?
I can't imagine how you can pay 25 or 35. I don't know.
Well,
it's like a space amount from the space.
To some people, that's not a lot of money. Obviously, they've got many, many millions indeed. But we're going to wiggle along this road, and as we open up a bit further up, you're going to start to see parts of the golf course. And as I've said, the villas, you may have noticed, are starting to get that little bit better. Not that there's anything wrong with these. All the villas around here now are 1 million euros plus. And as I said, some are to rent for holidays, for a weekend or even a night, and some are occupied by long-term residents.
It's a very good looked after area.
It is very well maintained, yes.
Yeah. Wow.
And most of the wiggles to the left and the rights, they're all dead ends. It's pretty much a gated community. There are 24-hour security, and there are private police patrols driving around to make sure that most of these people are very, very safe indeed. I don't know anybody that has suffered a burglary. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but none of my customers have ever told me that they've had anything like that, shall we say. Now, as you can see there, that's some of the golf course, and at this time of day and this time of year, it's probably not the busiest time, shall we say. But again, you can see absolutely spectacular. Those up there are actually apartments, by the way. They look like villas, but they're actually apartments. You've got downstairs apartments and upstairs apartments. So of course lots of people rent those and they walk straight out onto the golf course every morning while they're here, whether they live here or whether they're on holiday. So this road just wiggles and waggles, Chris, don't worry about it. There's the old speed bump, and then we're going to drop downhill, and then we're going to come uphill. And you're going to understand when we come uphill that the price of the properties certainly start to ascend very, very rapidly. So this is the undeveloped area. One assumes that as time goes on, they're going to build more and more villas. But over there is the spectacality of the view. And as you can see, there's some hilltop villas, and that's where we're going to end up. So stay with us. You keep driving, Christine LeBouf. Keep your eyes on the road, because you do get people driving along this road.
Yeah.
And when we see them, normally they're in pretty fancy cars. You're going to find a lot of X5s, X6s. There's got the Bentleys up here as well. Certainly a lot of Mercedes, a lot of BMWs. Range Rovers, yeah.
Rolls Royce.
Yeah. As you come to understand when we start to climb up, which is about to happen now, not only have you got a great, great view,
wow,
and not only is it a gated community, but the villas are going to get quite spectacular. And some of these villas have got spectacular views down to the blue Mediterranean Sea. But wherever your villa is situated along this part of Aphrodite Hills, there is no doubt that you have some serious wealth.
What a beauty, Mr. Paul.
It's a beautiful area,
the
yeah.
eye can't believe. I don't know if the camera eye can transfer what we see now, but it's really worth coming.
It is a nice place to come for a holiday. You are, should we say, 20 minutes out of Paphos, but there are restaurants. There are 4 or 5 restaurants. There is live entertainment in the summer. There is a supermarket, and there is a golf house, obviously. So if you want to play golf or you just want to chill out, this could be the perfect place to come. Aphrodite's Hills. It's about 20 minutes from Paphos Airport. It's around about an hour and 20 minutes from Larnaca Airport. And a lot of people live here full time, and a lot of people obviously live here and then commute to jobs in the Middle East, that kind of thing. There's a lot of oil workers up here, obviously in the higher echelons of society, shall we say, because obviously, as I've told you, all these villas you're looking at, anything you spot now, whether it be on the left or on the right, all of these villas are 1 million plus, and slowly but surely you're going to start to see villas that are 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, and even more. But some of those villas we can't even get close to. They are literally in private roads. So stick with us as we keep going along. As we come past, should we say, some customers of ours. I won't say their names, but I'll just mention, well, he happens to be a customer of mine. They're building a new villa there, as you can see. The villa next door to that is actually a customer of mine, a Russian gentleman. The customer across the road there is a customer of mine. We'll keep going, Christine, just follow the road along. And there's around about 700 to 800 houses up here at the moment, and every now and again they're building 1 or 2 more. We've got some golf resort over there to the right hand side. The gentleman living in this house on the right hand side, he's a customer of mine. Coming up on the left with these high gates, that's another customer of mine. They're building a new villa over there.
Wow.
Which again is going to have a spectacular sea view. Lots of these villas now have got sea views from their front terraces, shall we say. Gentleman there on the right hand side is a customer of mine.
For sale.
Yeah. And some lovely properties, really, really nice properties.
Why do the people want to sell in this lovely place?
They're moving on, or perhaps circumstance change. Who knows? Yeah. People are always buying and selling flats, houses, villas for whatever reasons they may have. And if we keep going along this road, we'll see LeBouf. Coming up here is another customer of mine with a Mercedes parked outside. And just so you understand, that's his lesser car. In fact, that's his fourth car. There we go. He's got an underground garage and there's two Mercedes parked over there as well.
But the villa of that person looks like a school.
Rather large villa, yeah. And some of it's sunken into the basement as well. Again, we've got some more golf greens there, as you can see. So if you can afford to live up here, I mean, if I could afford to live up here, I think I would. I think it's a very, very nice place. The fact that it's 20 minutes to Paphos, well, that doesn't really bother you. If you've got all that money and you've got several cars, I think I could learn to play golf. In fact, I did it when I was young, so I'd go and play golf every single day if I could. Keep going, Recife, because we can see the blue Mediterranean Sea over there. So let's just wiggle to the left here a little bit, Recife LaBouffe. There we are, have a look at that. Now you understand why some of these villas are very, very expensive. This row here now, well, they've got the sea view. So as you can see, that gentleman's got a Porsche. He's not a customer of mine, but you never know. That man's got a Fiat 500. I've got one of those. I wouldn't recommend anyone to buy one of those. So the idea of this video is to show you some parts of Paphos that perhaps you're never going to see, and perhaps show you how the other half live. And as you can notice, some of the cars around here are quite nice. Most of the people who live here permanently will have a car that's worth 50,000 euros or more. When we get a phone call from Aphrodite Hills, I do tend to rub my hands together, especially when they tell me they live here. Spectacular views, yeah. Spectacular villas. And I'm trying to show the people some privacy. I'm not actually going to film their villas, if you understand me, because obviously we do have the odd viewer, and no one wants you to stick a camera into their front garden. But I think you can understand, to the left and to the right of us, these villas are well over €1 million. And you've seen some of the cars. That's a customer of mine. We took his car back the other day. He's got a Mini. There's a customer coming up just over here. If we keep going, I'm not going to name the chappie, but this villa here, he owns. The villa next door, he owns. The villa behind, he owns. And the villa behind that, he owns. And he appears to be out because his X7 is not in the driveway. So he owns 4 villas there. He's not British, but that's all I'm going to say. And he's a very, very nice guy. He speaks perfect English. He's got plenty of money. When he phones you, he just says, I've had a mishap. Can you come and collect my car? He never asks how much. And when you take your car back, he just pays you whatever you ask. Porsche Cayenne. 4 or 5 year old, but that's the sort of car you'd expect to see up here. Or nothing less, anyway. When you see a lesser car, it tends to be a holiday car or a rental car. So we've gone full circle there. Yeah, it's beautiful, yeah. So we're back to a road we joined, so let's go right. Yeah. Again, there doesn't seem to be much traffic around, but a lot of these villas are occupied, and a lot of them, perhaps they've gone out shopping, perhaps they've gone to Limassol, or perhaps they've gone to Paphos. Because when you live in Aphrodite Hills, they tend to either shop in Limassol or Paphos. A lot of the people up here are Russian, and Russians are, well, very, very welcomed in Limassol, should we say. So a lot of them tend to go to Limassol to go shopping. There's some upmarket boutiques around there. But hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and hopefully it's given you an insight into some parts of Paphos that perhaps you didn't know existed, or perhaps some parts you don't understand, shall we say. Now obviously the people who live up here have made their money in another country. They're not making the money in Cyprus. A lot of it is oil and gas, like I say. A lot of them even own the oil and gas companies in various parts of the world. A little story for you. I got a customer who lives up here, and he expected his bonus to be enough to buy a brand new X3. His bonus was enough to buy a brand new GLS Mercedes. So he thought he was going to get a bonus of 50,000–60,000 euros, and he actually got a bonus of about 150,000 euros. So that was his bonus, and he decided to buy himself a car, which was a Mercedes GLS, which he then, well, somebody, he didn't say who it was, but somebody clipped his rear bumper so we collected it and we fixed it. And that car actually features in an earlier video right at the very start, because he was away for a week, and he said to me, Mr. Paul, you can use it to go wherever you want. Obviously if you damage it, you're going to fix it. So I drove around that car for about a week, and it's a car right at the top of my list. If I had enough money, I would go and buy a brand new GLS Mercedes, because I thought it was an exceptional car. And he's got great taste, that's for sure. Anyway,
what a beautiful
you like that one?
bushes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Look. It is very nice indeed. Yeah,
It looks like a paradise.
very
really.
well tended, shall we say. Left to go wild, but at the same time you can tell that someone is tendering it.
Yeah.
So we're now coming back down the road, so if you stick with us, we're going to take you to the roundabout where we joined, and then that roundabout will show you the hotel, the road back down to the main road to Paphos or Limassol, and of course if you were to go right at that, you would go to the shops and the restaurants, which if you want to come back for the next video, guess what, that's where we're going to be. We'll have a wiggle and a waggle around the restaurants and show you some of the shops, and hopefully show you a spectacular view out across the blue Mediterranean Sea. So stick with us as we go for this last wiggle and waggle back to the main roundabout on the resort of Aphrodite Hills on the island of Love, which is Cyprus, and we're in the district of Paphos. We're about 25 kilometres from Paphos, and we're about 35 kilometres from Limassol, and about 10 kilometres from Paphos, if people know where that is. So the idea of the channel is to try and show you the beauty and the spectacality of Paphos, and to show you your way around perhaps, and perhaps show you places where you would never have gone. Because if you're looking for a great holiday, Aphrodite Hills, the hotel, the villas, or the apartments may be that special place for you. I recommend if you come out here that you would hire a car. Obviously there's facilities to hire cars at both airports, there's facilities to hire them, have them delivered to your apartments or your hotel complex where you may be staying, and obviously there's facilities on the resort itself. I personally would use the internet to get the better price, but don't always go on price, because sometimes there can be a sting in the tail. I've mentioned this in previous videos. Don't be hooked into the price of the cheapest car, because often you'll find that the excess is huge. You heard us mention in a previous video, got a car in the workshop now. The gentleman hired a 7-seater car, I think around €30 a day. He thought that was a bargain, and then he clipped it, and then he understood that his excess is almost €2,000. So when he takes the car back, any damage, and I mean any damage on the car, he has to pay the first €2,000. And when I say pay, it's already been blocked on his credit card, so they've already taken it. So he decided to bring his car to us. I know I'm boring you now, and we're going to charge him €700-800, and he thinks that's a steal because he's going to save over €1,000. There we go. So please, if you're hiring a car, wherever you are in the world, if you stumbled upon our videos, always check the small print, always check the excess, and always check again when they say, for example, Paphos, does that mean you deliver it back to Paphos Airport, back to their compound? Because if you don't, again, they're going to sting your credit card. Also check on the fuel policy. Some say fair uses. What does that mean? Some say return it the way it was, so they mean full tank. So let's say you fill it back up in Paphos and drive to the airport. Guess what? A lot of them are going to charge you for a full tank of petrol, even though you've only used 4 or 5 litres, because they're going to tell you the tank was not full when it's returned. So please check the small print. This is not unique to Cyprus. This is the tricks of the trade in anywhere where you might hire a car. And again, the bigger companies are no better than the smaller companies, and the smaller companies are no better than the bigger companies. So be very careful. Don't be blinded by the sun and the blue Mediterranean Sea. There is the roundabout where, should we say, it started. If you go straight over that roundabout, that's the hotel. If you go left, you go back down to the main road. We're going to go right, and we're going to show you the start of the restaurants and the shops and the clubhouse. And then we're going to park in the car park, and then I've said, if you'd like to come back for the next video, well, we're going to have a wiggle and a waggle around. And you can see with the booth, it's going to look more beautiful than ever. That's her.
Especially in the shops, I always
Especially
look
in
very
the shops.
beautiful.
It's a shame that we didn't bring Jeremy and Simon with us, because there's enough room in the back and we could have brought them, and they're cash.
Don't scare the boys. There is not the shops that I would like.
Oh, there's one or two.
Really?
There's Costa Coffee. There's a rental company. And there's some restaurants. There's a bakery down there.
I remember we had a nice cheesecake once.
We did have a nice cheesecake, yeah. Let's get into one of these car parks, Chrissy LeBouf,
Let's.
and park it up.
Where should I go in?
Keep going a little bit, and I think
Wiggle and waggle.
we'll wiggle and waggle into that one to the right, and then it's time for the very, very big goodbye. So it's time for me to say thanks for watching, and of course if you like what you see, hit that like, click that subscribe, and come back for that little bit more of our madness.
And I found it. Oh dear. And of course I would like to tell you how much we love you and how much I personally enjoyed that areas around Aphrodite Hills, and I think that this villas is a little bit too expensive, but if you got a couple of Uncle Bobs and Auntie Bobbies
Under your bed, you'll be all right.
but you'll be all right. We're loving you to bits again and again. Thank you for coming back, and please don't forget to come and see another of our madnesses. Bye bye.
Thanks for watching.